Hello, today we're going to be doing a cellar video in response to @theOCDPiper's call for a video on cellaring tobacco. So this is it. This is what I've got. Hello and welcome. I am Cigar and Bar. I hope everyone out there in YouTube land is doing well. We're going to do a video today on some cellaring, on the reasons why you would cellar, on the reasons why you would cellar on purpose or inadvertently. This is in response to a video that @theOCDPiper posted the other day. He has put out a giveaway, so we're going to be recording a video in response to that. Hello, OCD Piper. I hope I win some nice tobacco. So let's get right into this tobacco today. And this is it. This is what I have been jarring. Now this is only stuff that I have opened, and this is only stuff that I have smoked and tried. I have a couple other things here. This is stuff that I've smoked that I haven't jarred yet. This is some stuff over here we're going to get into. That's stuff that I've smoked but haven't opened. These are secondary tins. And I got some stuff over there on my desk. That's stuff that is that I haven't smoked yet, that I've never tried before. So we're going to start off with what's going on with all of these things here. Now, I will confess that the stuff I've got here is not in any organized order. Whenever I take out a jar, it goes back in the nearest available space. So there's all kinds of stuff in here that's just all over the place. I really should sort it by type or brand. Type is probably better so I can find what I'm looking for, but sometimes if I'm looking through what I've got from a certain producer, maybe that would be helpful. Either way, there's a couple things that we've got going on here. I've got some nice big jars here. These are the nice big 4-ounce jars. These are really good for when I get stuff in bulk. This one over here in particular happens to be the Country Squire Rivendell, one of their Tonkin blends. Also got jars of the St. James, the L.J. Peretti St. James, and I got a whole pound of these, so I can fit a whole pound into 4 of these jars. Another interesting thing to note here about my organizing or process or lack thereof, on the top of each jar, if it's a jar that I have several jars of, like for example with the St. James, I've got 4 of these. And if I want to know which one I've already started, you can see on the top there maybe a green dot. I put the green dot on the jar so I know that's the one to go to first. And when that's empty, I'll put a green dot on the next jar. I'll just take this lid and move it over to that jar so I'm not wasting anything. I've also got, mostly from 2-ounce tins, I've got 2-ounce jars. This one happens to be the Peterson Perfect Plug, the 3 Ps. I went through a week where I smoked about a half a dozen different kinds of plug, I think it was. It's back on my Instagram. Maybe I'll go back to some of these plugs, but they were quite good. And I really like the process of cutting a flake off of a plug. And then I've also got quite a few of these little 1-ounce jars. Whenever a 2-ounce jar gets down low enough, I'll stick it in one of these to save space. I've got, this is Bell's 3 Nuns from 2016. So this is some of my older stuff that I've been kicking around in case I want to try some aged stuff. We're going to get to aging in a minute. One other little thing to remember when you are cellaring is to make sure to use acid-free archival labels and acid-free archival writing materials. Or you get things like this. This is a mystery, 3 question marks on the label, because when I went to go check on this a while back, the label had bleached itself clean and I did not know what is in there. So I'll smoke this every once in a while, or I can take this if I'm done with thinking I'm going to smoke it, and I can stick it in the other thing I've got in here, which is an all sorts jar. And just to give you an idea here, I didn't really fill out this one so well. This used to be a black pen, and that all sorts label is now going yellow. So that's an example of a label that's going to need to replace soon. I've also got just one so far, but I really like the idea. King's Ransom here, which is one of the KBV tobaccos. King's Ransom has, you can ship with little labels for the top of your mason jar. So that's one of his labels specifically for that. I think that's really cool. I've got a whole bunch of stuff in here. Some old, some fairly new, some is duplicate stuff. You can see I've got a lot of the little half jars down there. There's another one with 3 question marks, so I don't know what's in that one. It's also helpful with the little jars if you're just going to get the 1 ounce samples that a lot of manufacturers will bulk ship to you, so that's helpful. Now, why do I have all this? Well, it's been because in the last year and a half, I've had an explosion in interest in pipe tobacco and in sampling different things. And a responsible pipe smoker collects and stores their tobacco so that it'll last just as long as it needs to, at least. It needs to last until you're going to be done smoking it, even if you're going to smoke it quickly. You shouldn't leave it in the tins like I've done with these ones. Don't follow my example with these ones. You need to take the time to cellar it properly. If you don't need this much room, then so much the better. I used to fit all my tobacco in a little bedside dresser. Now all these fit under my bed, and that's half of a king-sized bed, so that can take up a little bit of space. But you want to at least be responsible with the way you're storing your tobacco so you're not wasting product and you're not wasting money. Now, as far as aging things is concerned, I do have in some of these, here's some Presbyterian mix from 2018. Here is a little bit of the Presbyterian mix that I've got left over from 2017. So when it came time to open this jar in 2018, I consciously decided to open up a new jar instead of smoking what little I had left of the 2017. Why did I do that? Because this was already a year older and I wanted to give it some more age. So I do enjoy determining whether age is going to help with the tobacco. Sometimes, like with wine, some wines you can age and they'll get better, and some wines you can age and you really can't tell the difference. With some tobaccos, I'm interested in finding out what's going to happen if I were to smoke these two side by side in a couple of years, or if I were to smoke this 2017 here with this 2020 here side by side. This 2020 here side by side, so that I can see what the difference is, just to kind of see if there is a difference. I mean, I've been able to taste in some of the really old ones that I've tried. In my video for the 200th anniversary of the Battle of Waterloo, I smoked some tobacco that I've been aging for 9 years, and I definitely felt that there were more Virginia notes in that Grasmere flake than there were when it was fresh. Still very floral, but definitely more Virginia, so I could tell a difference. And I've got more Grasmere flake in here somewhere that I haven't opened yet, that I should, but I'm saving just a very little bit of that Grasmere flake until a day that I want to have the last of the aged stuff. Now let's move on to another reason why you might be cellaring your tobacco. Now here, all of these tins are ones that I have sampled. I have sampled each of these kinds of tobacco before. And with things like Three Nuns and Presbyterian, I just buy a lot of it. Well, I'll get into that in a minute for why I have lots of Three Nuns and Presbyterians. But let's start with some of these tins over here. Some of these that are very obviously mostly Cornell and Diehl blends. For obvious reasons. Cornell and Diehl, in my opinion, make some fantastic tobaccos. So let's, for example, let's see here. I've got 2 tins of Cornell and Diehl's Sea Dog. I bought these at the same time. This is part of a pattern that I do. When I am going to buy a new tobacco, particularly if it's a short run, I will buy at least 3 tins. 1 to open, 1 to cellar, and 1 to give away. And if I open it and I really like it, then the 1 to cellar might have another 1 to cellar joining it. And I'll just keep all 3. But if I open it right away and I don't like it, I've still got a jar. I've got a jar that I can give away, and I've got another jar that I can cellar to see if it ages any better, so I can try it out over time. So that's a pattern that I usually do. I usually don't buy anything, if I can afford it, in less than 3 tins at a time. Now, why do I have so much Three Nuns and Presbyterian? Well, let's move on to the third reason why you might want to cellar your tobacco. All right, we've got some big boys here. These are 1-pound bags of Cornell and Diehl Pirate Cake and Devil's Holiday from Dan Tobacco. I love both of these tobaccos. These are going to be featured in some videos upcoming. I have ones planned for each of these. I have got in my cellar a pound of each of these. Why do I have that? Short and simple, it was cheap to buy it all together when I had the money and when it was available. You never know when a tobacco might be discontinued. So just like a rare tobacco, like the Smoking Pipes 20th Anniversary XX Flake or the Warped Haunting tobacco, you want to get a couple of those because you may never be able to get them again. And they're just out and they may never be available again. But just like with old favorites like Presbyterian and Three Nuns or Pirate Cake or Devil's Holiday, they may have been around for a long time, they may not be available at some point. And so you're going to want to make sure that you have some in your cellar to enjoy for the future. So those are the three reasons that you would, three main reasons why you would want to cellar tobacco. One, to age it so it tastes better. Two, to buy it while you can, because you know you're going to like it. And three, just because you buy it faster than you're going to smoke it. I have an ever-expanding cellar because now when I go in to decide, what should I smoke today? I've got a lot more options than I did a year and a half ago. But it's good. It's fun. It's certainly makes me popular at parties, as I can bring here. Here's a half dozen different blends of tobacco. Who wants to try what? I know that people like to sit around the campfire with me at reenactment events and kind of see, oh, what's he brought this time? And I try to bring something interesting or something new or something that I really like. And those are the reasons why I cellar, and this is what I cellar and how I cellar. So, at the OCD Piper, it's back to your corner. I'm doing this in response to your video for your giveaway, but I'm also doing this because I challenged you that if I showed off my cellar, that you would show off yours. So, you're up next. If you found this interesting, let me know in the comments below whether you think you're going to be cellaring more tobacco than you were before, or whether you can think of another reason why you would want to cellar tobacco. I'd be interested in knowing. Comment, communicate, get yourself involved, and make sure you check out OCD Piper's video, which I'm going to be putting in the screen there, and you can check it out. Today is July 1st, and the contest closes tonight at midnight, so if you're watching this after July 1st, you can't enter, but it is interesting to kind of see what kicked off this whole video. So I'm going to go now. I'm Cigar and Bar. Hope everyone out there in YouTube land has been enjoying their summer so far, and I hope you've been enjoying the content on this channel so far. I'm going to keep it up if you keep up watching. So cheers and have a good day.